Okay. So the size of the Heichel was 100 by 100 by 100. We already did in Halacha Gimel the height, 100. We did in Halacha Dalid the length from Maidiv to Mizrach, back to the front. Now we're going to do from side to side, from Tzafin to Darim. There's a lot of details. It was 100, 100, 100. It was almost a cube. So now the width is also 100. So it's which is you'll see how in the puzzle that they built over here doesn't look like it's a square. So we'll explain. Mitzvah Shem. Hey, minatzaf from the darim meya amma. It's 100 amma from tzafin to darim. Oivi koisel ulam chamish amis. The ulam wall of the ulam was 5 amas. When we koisel ulam at koisel hakodesh eser amas, and then there was a space of 10 amas in between the wall of the ulam and the wall of the kodesh, which is the kodesh kadosh kadashim. So that's already 15. The wall of the kodesh were 6 walls. It's from outside the kodesh. If you were standing between the ulam and the kodesh, you had to go through 6 walls. And in between there are 5 spaces. Between the outside wall and the second was 5 amas, including the wall. Ben shlishi was shalish amas. Ben shlishi l'devi was chamesh. Ben avi v'chamishi sheish. And bechamishi v'choisel apnimi sheish. Nimtza kol haboim amma mitzad zeh. Comes out just to go through. There's 40 amas. You have 5 amas is the wall of the ulam. 10 amas space, 15. And then you have 5 amas, 3 amas, 5 amas, 6 amas, 6 amas, altogether 40. So if it's 40 amas with all the walls and spaces in between, from Tzafin, also from 40 from the side of Darim. You have 80. And inside the house is 20 amas. So altogether you have 100 amma. Now, yeah, we'll discuss what happened in the spaces. Now the thing is like this: the Rambam, it seems like from his picture, held that the Mishkan, the base of Mikdash, the Heichal didn't look like this diagram here, whatever you call it, this 3D. This is the Ravid Shitta. The Ravid says that the Ulam came out. Was that the ulam was wider than the heichel. The heichel was only 70 amma. The ulam was 100. When we say that the heichel was 100, we mean from wall to wall of the ulam. But it seems like the Rambam held that the walls of the ulam went all across. In other words, imagine that the base ministry over here. Imagine they would build a wall at the end of both sides, Tzafin and Darim of the ulam, but all down till the back of the Kodesh HaKadoshim. Then it would look like a square. Now, if you walked inside the Ulam, you would see that there's sort of a building within a building. From outside, it looked like a square. From inside, you would see that there's an area, the Kodesh HaKadoshim, the Kodesh, that's only 70. The Raiva disagrees, and he says this 100 was only the Ulam. Right? That was take off 15 amma from each side. If you see the picture on page Nun, which is based on the Rambam's picture, you'll see how it works. You see the Ulam had a wall going the whole length with 10 amma space in between. Then started the 6 walls on each side of the Heichel. So therefore, you can obviously realize that this is not according to the way that Rambam L'Choida understood. It's still good that they made this picture, because we negate to see the lockers, the rooms all around. The way this looks is if you walked into the ulam and you were standing inside, then this is the way it looked. You imagine there's other walls outside. What?
Says whoever made this puzzle over here did not want to do it according to the Rambam.
But there's still a revach. Even if you want to according to Rambam, truth is he could have made a wall inside and make an option that you can pick it up and look what's inside. And then you would see.
So is it the fact that we follow Ravid over the Rambam?
I don't know. No, Lav Dafka. No. This maybe have been a little easier for them. I don't know. Halacha hey. Sorry, halacha vav. A pishposh or pshiposh hu ashar katon means a small a small door. In other words, compared to the big door that was in the heichel, there was a small little door, so it's called a pshiposh. When you have a small door near a big door, that's what it's called. Ushneya, people call it usually pishposh. Yeah, ushnei pishposhin ha'yol heichel mitzad ashar agadol shemtzoy, and there were actually two little doors. As if you looked on to the heichel, you saw on two sides there was a door, small door on one side, small on the other side, tzafin and darim. Echa b'tzav, echa b'darim. Shebedarim lenichas b'adam la'olam. No one entered the darim one. Ba'alavu mefurish aydei Yecheskel ashar azeh sagar yiyeh lo yipesech. Shebetzafin, but the door in the tzafin, by nechnasin, that's actually what the door they used to enter. Mahalach b'shnei aksalim atchem megiel la'makim pasuach la'kodesh mismoiloi v'nichlas techahechol mahalach atshar agal l'poischei. Means the way it works like this. The heichal, when they locked the doors, they locked it from the inside. They felt it was not respectful to have a lock on the outside of the heichal. Right? So they had a lock on the inside. So how do you get in to open it? How do you get in and out? So there was a door in the side. Remember, there were 6 walls each side of the kodesh. So between the second and third wall, that area, that pathway was called the the locker pathway. The room, and you walk. There was a door, and you walked through. It was sort of like a tunnel, and you turned. So you walked in from Tzafin. Imagine you're standing in Mizrach, in front of the heichel. So you walked. You went to your right side. You're standing facing You're standing in Mizrach facing Ma'ariv. So to your right side by the Tzafin, there was a door. You walked in. The Kohen walked in. He turned to his left. And he walked into the heichel, and he was inside. Then he turned, came to the front doors, and opened it up from the inside. And same thing when they locked it. He locked it, and he exited through a sort of a side entrance, and through that tunnel, out of the pishpesh. Halacha zayin. Hashar agadol eroch be'eser amis. Shar Agadol, compared to the small gates of the Pishpish in the Shar, was big. It was 10 amas wide. The Gave Esina Amma, and it was 20 amas high. V'arbad los is hoyoloi. It had 4 doors. Shtayim b'fnim, shtayim b'chutz. 2 in the inside and 2 in the outside. Meaning, the wall, the Mizrach wall of the Heichel, was 6 amas thick. It was a very thick wall, 10 feet. So it's like you have a big area. So you had 2 doors in the front and 2 doors in the back, and there was sort of 6 amas in between. So altogether 4 doors. 2 doors in the front, each one covering half the shetach, and 2 doors in the end. When they opened the outer doors, and so basically covered almost the whole wall. The wall was 6 amas. So if you have a 5 amma door and you open it this way, a 5 amma door open that way, you walk at the Eichel, you almost can't see the walls of the doorway. It's covered by the doors, besides 1 amma. The inner doors, they opened up all the way wide, and they covered the inside walls of Mizrach of the Heichel. Of the thickness of the entrance, yeah. So God is about to, in the picture, if you see in the picture on page Nun Gimel, you can see how the 2 doors opened. You see they have a little arrow where the hinges are, and one opened. So the outer doors opened, and there's still a little 1 amma space. But the inner doors, there's no space. They opened and covered each one, the full wall. There's a Bartanur that says that maybe the outer doors only started at amma in. And that was, okay. Halacha ches. The doorway of the ulam, I'm talking the doorway, but there's no doors there. It's just the opening. So you have the heichel, and you have 11 amas in front of it. There's the opening of the ulam. It was 40 amas high. V'rochav esrim. There's no gates, meaning there was no doors. So if someone walked into the base of Migdash, he can see straight to, even if the heichal doors are closed, you can see it. The ulam had no doors. It had a very interesting design on top of the doorway of the ulam. These are called beams of mila. Mila is, I guess, a certain type of wood with a nice design on it. And they put 5 rows of wood on top of the door. The way it worked was, at the top of the door we had one beam, and then you made an amma space, and another beam, amma space, another beam, and each one coming out a little bigger.
Upside down staircase.
Yeah, an upside down staircase. Yeah, it's sort of a molding, but like 5 moldings, decorative molding. Yeah, it's decoration.
Wood? Yeah.
It could be plated with gold, but the original, the thing itself was a wood. It says here. It's not. Well, some people will say it's not on the karka. So if you hold that opinion, it's not a shaila. If you hold that it was covered with gold, also not a problem. The lower one came out an amma from the 2 sides of the opening. So the lowest maltera was 22 ammas. In each one of these 5, an amma bigger from each side. So the highest of the 5 malteras was a 30 amma beam coming out. There was stones, like a row of stones, like imagine bricks, sort of a stone in between each one. And you have here a picture how it looked. And here you have a picture that Rambam writes of the entire heichal, and you'll see on the left side of page Nudalid. This is the Rambam's picture, and obviously you can see that he held at the ulam was a square, looked like a square. The walls of the ulam went all the way down. You have a bigger 11, 5 ammas, 11, and so on, 5, 3, 6, all the spaces. Now, between the walls, each pathway had a different name. They had different names for each pathway because there are different functions, as we'll see soon. For example, one of the pathways was called Mesiba. Why was it called the Mesiba? Because Mesiba was like a ramp. The way to go up from they had a ramp going all around the walls of the Kodesh. So if you want to go from the ground level and get up to the 2nd floor, they had a ramp slowly going up. And that was in one of the spaces between 2 walls. That was called the Mesiba, so to speak. What? For handicapped. If handicapped kohanim will want to go and get up to the roof, where you have to climb with a ladder after, but okay. The 2nd floor, the handicapped people could go, but if you want to go from there to the roof, it wouldn't work. Couldn't do for handicapped tourists that are kohanim and are allowed to go. Okay. Tess. The heichal was built in a way that in front was wide and the back was narrow, so it looked like a lion. Here is where the Ravid wanted to prove that the Rambam was wrong in describing the ulam. Look, it says that the back has to be narrow and the front wide. That's why that Ravid said that it looks like this. The ulam is 100 amma. The kodesh is only 70 amma, so it's narrow in the back and wide in the front. But the Rambam holds that it still looks pretty much like a square. When it says narrow, it means a small thing, a tiny incline. That's what it means by narrow. As you can see a little bit of the picture down here, there's 2 different opinions how it was, but the Iker's mashra like.
How's the left-hand side like an Arif?
What?
If you want to the right-hand side,
no,
the goes in. But the left-hand side doesn't do nothing.
Both sides went in a little bit, a small incline. You see the picture? Kamoyari?
On the right-hand side.
Right hand and left side, both. You see how it goes? It shows you an incline.
It shows you
the 2 walls of the ulam went a little bit.
The shaded area.
In other words, imagine there was 100 amma from the front of the ulam, and by the Kodesh Kodashim it was 99 ammas. A tiny incline. V'yitziyim hayem makifim l'bayis saviv kulayim saviv chutz l'kois l'amasiba. There was Yatzim. Yatzim means like this. Let me see if they have a picture in the other page. Yeah, they have a shtickle picture. As a design, they made a nice design. The walls, not the walls of the ulam, but the walls of the kodesh, had coming out of the outer wall these long beams, these long boards, looked like porches. It looked like you had 3 levels of porches coming out of the wall of the heichal, of the kodesh, and kodesh kodashim, all around. There were 3 porches. And the way the porches were built like this. You know, sometimes you look on a building that while they're constructing it, before they actually build the porch, you just see the frames of. So imagine there was like a sort of just the floor, just the landing of a porch, coming out along the whole wall, from all sides, 3 sides. Chutz l'kois lamasiba hayetzia techtoina chamish. It was 5 amis. So it came out 5 amis wide. V'roivet al gabo sheish, and then right on top of it, with no space in between. It seems like the way it was built is that you had a beam coming at two. Imagine you had a porch where you have like a foundation to the porch, and then another floor on top of it, and it comes out a little bit more. So you'll see in the picture in the next Amud. Vayetzia amtsois, the middle yetzia, the middle porch was sheish. V'roivet al gabo, and over it covering another stone, sheva. Some say there was 2 different. One was wood and one was stone, or. Sheva, and the higher one was 7 and had no other layer on top of it. If it went on all 3 sides. It's good to see the picture on page Nun Vav, both pictures. You'll see that there's 3 yitzias, 3 sort of porches, but the first 2, the bottom and the middle, are a double layer, because there was 5 am on top of it 6 am on top of it 7. But they're like right near each other. The top one was 1 layer. Which 3 walls had these porches? So some say 3 walls were Tzafin, Darim, Maidiv, 2 on the side and the back. But others say no. The back, the ulam, this was meant to be only around the kodesh. The back wall, the ulam and the kodesh were all the same. And it's according to the Rambam, where only the back wall is the ulam's walls. You know, it's so in the picture they made over here, they wrote it in the Mizrach. They made a picture of Mizrach. You see the 2 doors of the Eichel over here, Safin and Darim, not the Maidav wall. Where the Maidav wall was just one flat, straight surface, because that was already outside. Okay, finishing this halacha, page Nun Zayin. V'chein saviv l'kasei ulam. And also the ulam, remember the ulam, someone who looked at the Beis HaMikdash from the outside, from far away, didn't see these yatzias, these 3 porches, right? Because according to the Rambam, there was walls of the ulam all around. But he did see the ulam's walls. And the ulam's walls also was built in a system of porches, but a little differently. A lot more porches, but not so wide. The way the walls of the ulam were like this. Amma achas chalak, 1 amma was plain, nothing popping out. V'roivet shalosh amis, and then a stone coming out, 3 amas, like a porch of 3 amas. And then amma chalak, so it didn't look like a porch really. It looked like a design. 1 amma regular, v'roivet shalosh amis. Ad l'mayla, till the top of the ulam. And inside the kafim l'kselim, so the whole wall was surrounded. Really, you didn't see a wall. If you looked in the ulam, you saw a beam out, a beam in. Yeah, you saw a wall, but 3 amas out, 3 amas in. It's a beautiful design. Expensive design. Only the top of it came out a little more. People like to make out the roof, comes out a little bit more. That was the look of the ulam. Yeah, okay. And by Allah Yud.
Every year I don't understand it.
Yeah, I don't know how to end this.